I'm Jenni Carlson here with Gina and Mizell. We're at Boone Pickens Stadium where today the Cowboys had their spring finale. The gray team winning 31-21. We'll get to that in just a second because we had a little scoring change, if you will. You never know what's going to happen. Let's talk first of all about quarterbacks. We've been talking about them all spring long. Any separation today between these three guys?
I think today was a perfect example of what this coaching staff has had to go through all spring, in that, people had their good moments, they had their not so good moments, and there really wasn't any separation on the day. I mean, Clint Shelf, J.W. Walsh, Wes Lunt, all again rotating with the first team, all had long touchdown passes, all had successful drives, and like I said, all had their, not so great moments, but the plan is still they're going to have a meeting on Wednesday to decide who's going to be the starting quarterback. And so I think everyone's kind of anxious, whether it's the coaches, the quarterbacks, other players on the team, they all want to know who the guy's going to be.
Well, we know a couple guys that are going to be in the plans for the Cowboys, and those are receivers named Moore. Yes. Tracy Moore and Charlie Moore both had huge days for the Cowboys. Gina, talk about these two. Tracy Moore is a guy we know about. Charlie Moore, not so much. Did this come out of the blue for the Cowboys?
Well, yeah, let's start with Tracy Moore, a guy that you have seen who's played on the inside the past couple of seasons. And, Casey Dunn, the wide receivers coach, has raved about his transition to the outside. And I think we saw that today with his couple nice catches, couple touchdowns. But, yeah, Charlie Moore is one of those guys that has been under the radar, but kind of, I don't want to say, but I'm just saying, someone I said look out for in 2012. And, yeah, 3 touchdowns, showed some great speed on that first touchdown where he basically split the defense and outran everyone. So, a couple weeks ago I would have said, maybe he's, kind of that 4th or 5th option, maybe a guy that replaces the production of Colton Shelf. I think he's someone that could be a lot better than that at this point. He's going to help replace Justin Blackman. It's going to be a group effort. But, yeah, I think this is kind of, what people expected or didn't expect to see. But, he's going to be a guy that's going to come in there and get a lot of production.
Let's talk about the defense for a second, Gina, because it was a lot of 1v1s, especially in the first half. So you saw a lot of starters versus starters. Gave up some points, but what did you think about the defense's performance today?
Well, I think, something that Mike Gundy has talked about before the spring is just basically saying that he's got the most depth and the most talent and the most speed overall across the board that he's really ever had at Oklahoma State as the head coach. And I think you especially see that at the linebacking core. A lot of guys with lateral speed, good anticipation and coverage. And so I think, that's a great sign. And I actually asked Mike Gundy, I said, what's a question that you had answered? And he said, well, I wanted to see these guys perform like this in the spring, and he said that they had. So, again, yes, they gave up some points against first-team offense, but there's obviously some playmakers on that first-team offense. So, I think that this defense is going to be much improved. It was such an interesting unit last year with they led the nation in takeaways with 44, but also gave up a ton of yards. But I think that number is going to go down. I think there's still going to be a unit that forces a lot of turnovers because you got guys flying around like Alex Elkins that can make some plays. So I think, like I said, it's going to be a much improved unit in 2012, and it's a unit that the coaching staff's been very happy with during the spring.
All right. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.